Snake Eye is an archetype focused on level 1 fire monsters as well as turning monsters into continuous spells. Although they were released in Age of Overlord and tied to Diabellestar the Dark Witch through lore, it was pretty lacking on release, and Diabellestar's own use as an engine in decks like Rescue Ace and Fire King largely overshadowed it. But after release, the addition of support in Phantom Nightmare like Snake Eye's Populous as well as generic fire support like Prisoner Princess of Fruitful Flames has helped patch holes in the game plan of the deck, bringing it to playability. The question is it enough to compete in the current format? We first have our level 1 Fire Pyro Snake Eye monsters. Snake Eye's Ash is our main normal summon of the deck, and when normal special summon, you can search for any level 1 fire monster. We'll usually use this to search for Snake Eye's Populous, but the ability to search other cards such as Kurakara comes often. It can also send itself and another face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon a different Snake Eyes monster from your deck, an effect it shares with Snake Eye OCG. Snake Eye OCG is similar to Ash, sharing the same effect to send itself and another face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon another Snake Eye monster from the deck. But unlike Ash, when normal special summoned, it instead lets you take a level 1 fire monster that is banished on your graveyard and either special summon it or add it to your hand. OCG is a key piece for our combos as well as our grind game, helping us extend and recover on subsequent turns. Speaking of extenders, we have the brand new Snake Eyes Populous. If added to your hand except by drawing it, it can special summon itself. If it is normal special summon, it can search for Snake Eye spell or trap, and if it is sent to the graveyard, it can place a fire monster from your graveyard into your spell or trap zone as a continuous spell. Populous may be one of the single strongest pieces of support in a while. Its effect to special summon itself when searched makes it a phenomenal extender, triggering on search by both Ash as well as Bonfire. Its search effect triggering on both normal special summon means that it can also be used as a starter in a pinch, and its ability to place fire monsters into our back row helps us pay for the cost of our other Snake Eyes, or lets us revive them with our other effects. Just a great card. Far less impressive is Snake Eye Birch, which can special summon itself if you control a fire monster. Like Ash and OCG, it can also send itself and another face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon a Snake Eye from the deck, but this time it's a quick effect during your opponent's turn. Unfortunately, we don't really have a good Snake Eye to summon during our opponent's turn, so Birch is mostly just a searchable extender for now. Last but not least, with our boss monster, Snake Eye's Flamberge Dragon, a level 8 fire dragon with several effects. Firstly, it can target a monster on the field or in either graveyard and place into its own spell trap zone as a continuous spell. And secondly, during your opponent's turn, it is the quick effect to special summon a monster treated as a continuous spell to your field. We'll usually be using this effect in tandem as a way to special summon monsters back from our graveyard, but given the opportunity, they can be used as removal or to steal your opponent's monsters. Finally, if sent to the graveyard from your hand or field, you can special summon 2 level 1 fire monsters from your graveyard, making Flamberge Dragon a key piece in our ability to extend, as well as the single best card to pay for our costs. Flamberge Dragon is a great boss monster for our deck that plays much better than it reads. Unfortunately, it's ultimately still a brick that you're forced to play multiples of. Aside from Snake Eyes, we run Diabellestar the Dark Witch for our Sinful Spoils package, acting as additional starters by searching the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. And if we already have a starter available, it can help us extend by special summoning Jet Synchron to access our Synchro package. Kurakara is another searchable level 1 fire monster that helps us break boards, and we have our hand traps of Maxi and Ash Blossom, which being a fire monster is even better in this deck. For our spells and traps, we have our fail spell, the Shrine of Serpentine Sight, Snake Eye. When activated, it lets us place a Snake Eye monster from our hand, deck or graveyard into the spell trap zone as a continuous spell, which we will usually use to place our Flamberge Dragon. It gives level 1 fire monsters we control 1100 attack, and when your opponent normal special summons a monster, it can target a special summon monster that is treated as a continuous spell to your field. While unfortunately not a starter, our fail spell is still great for our deck in several ways. It helps us pay for our Snake Eye costs by essentially acting as 2 face-up cards as well as helping to recover our limited copies of Flamberge Dragon, and its attack boost is surprisingly relevant, turning our Snake Eyes into sizable beaters to help close out the game. While it's arguably not essential, I like seeing it in my opener, so I'm running 3 copies as well as Terraforming. Our other Snake Eyes as well as Sinful Spoils spell is the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye, a card that is probably better known for its play in other decks by now. By sending a face-up card you control to the graveyard, it can special summon any level 1 fire monster from your deck. It can also banish itself from the graveyard to place a Snake Eye or Diabellestar monster from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck, as well as search for a level 1 fire monster. You can only use one of these effects per turn and only once that turn. Nevertheless, it's still a great card that's searchable by both Populous as well as Diabellestar. Lastly, we have the rest of our consistency cards. Wanted seek out Sinful Spoils to search out Diabellestar as well as Bonfire to search, well, the entire deck. To round out the deck, we have Caught by the Grave, Crossout Designator, and Triple Tactics Talent to play through Interruption, as well as Imperm for additional hand traps. The extra deck this time is pretty interesting. While we are mostly running the usual suspects, the unique tools Snake Eyes brings to the table means that some cards are better than usual. For instance, all our monsters being level 1s means that our opponent needs to always be worried of not only Relinquished Anima, but also SP Lethal Knight, as any two monsters essentially make a banish effect live. Aside from that, our deck being primarily comprised of fire monsters means that cards such as Heat the Fire Charmer, Samurai Sunlight Wolf, and the new Prisoner Princess of Fruitful Flames are also at our disposal, helping us extend, recover, and even acting as interruptions. Lastly, we have our Zeus package, as well as Formula Synchron and Baron de Fleur for our synchro targets to make with Jet Synchron. As you can see, Snake Eye is now a competent deck that can hold its own. While the support it received like Populous and Prisoner Princess are probably better utilized than other fire decks like Fire King, it's still a decent deck in its own right, bringing unique tools such as arguably the new strongest form of removal in the game. That being said, it still has some issues. The deck is still overly dependent on Snake Eye's Flamboyant Dragon. While Populous and its ability to search Shrine has helped significantly, cutting off access to Flamboyant Dragon still kills the deck's ability to extend and to recover. In addition, the deck has issues in the grind game. While it can play effectively on turn 2, anything further than that is a struggle, as your extra deck and main deck resources deplete rapidly. Fortunately, as Snake Eye is a lore archetype tied to the ongoing Diabellestar lore, support is likely still on the way, and with cards like Snake Eye Dramatic Chase and the original Sinful Spoils to help tie both archetypes together, they only get better.